Hi everyone, Lindsay Vaught with Beloved One Studios here, and I just wanted to get on here for the first few minutes of class today. We are going to be boosting Christian businesses, and so I know a lot of you who have products available, and you have been making those available for a while. Some of you, you're starting a new business during this quarantine time. Some of you have a business and you've just been working from home for a while. Or you have a job that you haven't been able to dedicate your time to building your business. So tonight is going to be a class dedicated. We're just going to devote the first 10 minutes here to boosting your business. So if you have a product or a service that you would like to advertise, put it in the comments below. So introduce yourself, describe your product or service, and post a link in the comments below to your product. And so I see we've got folks jumping on now. So I just want to give this opportunity to you guys. Then what you're going to do is you're going to share this to your timelines or to your pages, wherever you want to share it to. I wanted to leave it up to you guys. I didn't want to tag a bunch of people in this. I wanted to leave it up to you guys to share it to your comfort level. I know that not everybody is comfortable sharing, things on their own profiles. You guys decide what's best. Just share the class as we're doing this. It's going to attract some attention just because it's live, and just because we've got lots of other people sharing it too. So as you have opportunity, just type in your notes, describe your service and your products, and just make those available. So as I see you guys posting comments, I'll post some links. There are a few folks that I'd like to mention in this. I know that for years I have been going to, I know a lot of you guys offer products that are all natural and are intentionally holistic in their approach. And I see Dawn is posting now. Dawn sells doTERRA essential oils. And so I think we're going to have a lot of folks kind of like-minded joining us for a live yoga class. So I have just noticed that a lot of the folks that I've been coming in contact with online sell all kinds of really wonderful products. So I see Lisa Higgins Taylor there is part of Plexus. And she's been making her products available for a while. Years ago, somebody offered me some Plexus products, and that was the beginning of kind of a shift in my health. Even still, even though I haven't used Plexus for years, I still use Plexus probiotics. So that's a really wonderful thing right now. So tonight is a night to just promote your product. So jump on here, tell me what you offer, tell me who you are, tell me where you are. And just post a link to the business that you would like to highlight. And so while you guys are doing that, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I haven't introduced myself just because most everybody on here is a friend. But since we're going to be sharing these around, hopefully we're going to get folks sharing the class to their own pages to help advertise our businesses. My name is Lindsay Vaught. Obviously, Beloved One Studios is where I teach. That's my yoga studio. I teach Holy Yoga there, which is a brand of yoga that's Christ-centered. My day job, though, I work in solar and real estate. So I've been working in solar and real estate for several years. With this quarantine time, I started my own solar company, but I still work with the solar companies that I worked with a long time ago. So I've been working with the same group of folks for many years. I'm going to continue working with them, but this is just another division of the services that we offer. So one other business that I don't think is going to be represented here tonight, but I wanted to give a chance to highlight, and that is for my friend Kristen, who offers a service that I think might be of help to you. So if you're trying to build your business and you're trying to build it online, I have and I'm going to post the link in the comments here if I can. I don't know if I can comment. Maybe I can. I can. So that link gives you a 28-day free trial to a program that's designed to help bookkeepers. And I know that Danette Autumn, I can't see who all is on here, but if I have Danette Autumn who came to me and said that she had a new baby at home, and she is trying to build a platform that's more accessible for her to be able to do from home, to do bookkeeping. And so it just so happened that I had another friend who created this platform for virtual assistants. And I had just come across her when looking for a content writer for my website. Through a series of contacts, I ended up coming across this. It wasn't what I was looking for, but it makes a really wonderful foundation for your business. She gives tutorials on how to build your business, on how to build your website, how to market your business, and all of those things. So that link is in there if you guys think that that would be of value to you or somebody else. The reason I copy a link, there's a website that you can go to. There's a button for a 14-day free trial, but the one that I included here includes a 28-day free trial. So if you're, depending on where you are in quarantine, some of us are going into our second month, some of us have just started. So depending on where you are in the world, that's a really wonderful tool. 28 days will give you a really great solid foundation to get your business started and all of that. So hopefully you guys can use that link for jumpstarting your business. I see Michelle McCabe is on there, and so I wanted to give you her product while she's here. So I've got my my 31 products that I have been using to store my own product line that's coming out sometime soon. Beloved Ones should be coming out sometime this month. And I have had all these products that I've been gathering together and storing myself, waiting for an opportunity to share them with you all and send them to branding. So all of that's coming up. But in the meantime, they're going to be stored in my 31 bag. And so once I send those off to branding, I'll be using that. Hopefully by that time, we'll be able to meet in person and start doing in-person classes, and I'll be able to bring my blocks and towels and all of those things to you guys in person. That will be really wonderful. So then the other thing too, so we have a lot of folks who offer natural products. One of those is Norwex. This is one that I use personally. We're going to be using these a lot during this time of quarantine. Norwex is a product that kills 99% of germs on a surface using water. And it's because it's got silver woven into a microfiber. So it's a fantastic cleaning cloth, but it also kills germs and bacteria and all of those types of things and viruses as well. So this is a wonderful thing to use around your house. I have another friend who offers Melaleuca products, and she's going to be posting on here as well. If any of you know somebody who has a business that you'd like to advertise, just put it in here or tag them so that they can come back and plug in later. I know that 9 o'clock at night is not the best time for anybody or for everybody to be doing a yoga class or to be advertising their business. All of us are in different time zones and different schedules. But I just wanted to take this opportunity to let you guys share, let you guys boost each other's business. And that's actually going to be our lesson tonight in scripture as well. So I am going to, while you guys keep posting while I'm talking, and just pitch your little hearts out. So if you have 10 businesses that you're running from home, you're welcome to run 10 businesses off of this link. The idea is to give you an opportunity to share those products and to boost your exposure. And so I hope that you guys have the opportunity to share. I'm seeing folks come up here from around the world who are posting. So share your business, share your products, share your services, and share how to get a hold of you. So that we can start. There's Danette. Great. Wonderful. So that we can start building each other up during this downtime. And so that's actually going to be our passage tonight. So I'm going to grab my Bible, my electric Bible. I've got my laptop pulled up here, and I will read our passage for the evening. Actually, we're going to read several passages, and these are all passages about building one another up. And so we're going to start in John 15:12. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. These things I command you so that you will love one another. Some of his disciples said to one another, "What is this that you say to us? A little while and you will not see me, and a little while you will see me again, because I am going to my Father." And he's talking to the disciple, or he's talking to some of his disciples. Again, they're questioning him about his speech. And we're going to go on to, I'm sorry, it seemed to have closed my, there we are. We're going to start back in Romans 12:10. Love one another with brotherly affection. Outdo one another in showing honor. And so I just want to give you guys an opportunity to outdo one another in showing honor and building each other's businesses tonight. Live in harmony with one another. Do not be haughty, but associate with the lowly. Never be wise in your own sight. Therefore, let us not pass judgment on one another any longer, but rather decide never to put a stumbling block or hindrance in the way of your brother. May the God of endurance and encouragement grant you to live in such harmony with one another in accord with Jesus Christ. Therefore, welcome one another as Christ has welcomed you for the glory of God. I myself am satisfied about you, my brothers, that you yourselves are full of goodness, filled with all knowledge, and able to instruct one another. So again, we have an opportunity to build one another, and I am going to read some of my favorite passages with regard to being his beloved. And the reason I am so excited about that is because we were, and some of us still are, enemies of God, and yet we have acceptance in the beloved through Jesus Christ. And so that's kind of, as you can imagine, that's the inspiration behind the name Beloved One Studios, is that Christ was the beloved, and yet he has allowed us the opportunity to be accepted in that beloved. And it seemed good to us, having come to one accord, to choose men and send them to you with our beloved Barnabas and Paul. And so he's talking about how much he loves him. And he talks about, again, in Colossians 4:9, he talks about our beloved brother Onesimus. And then do not overlook this one fact, beloved, with the Lord, one day is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. And then my favorite, 1 John 4:7, beloved, let us love one another, for love is from God, and everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. Beloved, if God so loved us, we ought also to love one another. And so I'm seeing a lot of tensions on Facebook coming up with folks with different views of the coronavirus and how it should be handled and all of those things. And I'm seeing an insane amount of hate language. And tonight I want to call quits to that. I want to call a time to choose instead, regardless of your opinions, regardless of your fears, regardless of those things, to choose love. And scripture tells us that perfect love casts out fear. And so if we're choosing love instead of fear, we're conquering fear. We're eliminating that. So whatever you're afraid of, no matter which side you're on with this, if you choose love over fear, you're conquering fear. How's that? You're conquering fear. And so we can just cut the crap, so to speak. So anyway, I'm just excited to share this with you. Tomorrow night, Saturday morning, or tonight is the last night to sign up for our virtual retreat. So if you want a time of fellowship and getting together, it's a free retreat with Dr. Blessing and I. We're going to be doing that first thing Saturday morning. 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time is when we're going to be doing that. So wherever you are in the time zones, you can connect with that. Tonight's the last night, and so there's a link to that already in my in my profile. So if you go, there's an Eventbrite link to that. So if you know of somebody who you think could benefit from that, send them there. But in the meantime, we're going to yoga together for God's honor and glory. And just, I want you guys to be filled with love and care and commitment and honor towards one another for God's honor. And I'm going to pray and we'll get started. Dear Lord God, I thank you so much for our time together. I thank you so much for the opportunity to build each other's businesses and to strengthen one another during this time of uncertainty and difficulty and strain, Lord. I know that all of us are struggling by this point financially, and all of us are so dependent on you. And I just ask you that you would reach your hand out and that you would extend mercy and grace and victory for each of these that has shared their businesses and had an opportunity, Lord, to testify of your grace and what you've been doing in their lives, Lord. I just pray, God, that as we share these things with each other, that we would just be filled with joy and filled with grace and strength and mercy, Lord, to overcome this fear that is just besetting everyone around us, Lord. And I just pray, God, that you would give us victory and strength and might to conquer that fear. I pray, God, that you would keep us safe as we exercise tonight, Lord. And I just pray that there would be abundant fruit as we share each other's businesses, Lord, that each of these ladies who has shared their businesses would profit by them, Lord, would profit by the fellowship that we have here tonight. And I ask all these things in your name. Amen. All right, so hopefully you guys have had an opportunity to share your businesses, and hopefully you've had an opportunity to share your links. If you know somebody who hasn't had an opportunity to share their links yet, just send them a text or message right now and let them do that while we're exercising. This is going to be reposted on Beloved One Studios page, and so you'll have an opportunity to send people back or to share it again later as you have time. So I want you to root down into all four corners of your feet, shoulders up, back and down, ribs knit together, belly button tucked up in your heart space, ears stacked over your shoulders, stacked over your knees, stacked over your ankles. Inhale, arms up, and stretch. Alternating wrists, giving those a nice gentle tug up towards the ceiling. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, arms up. Nice gentle tug, stretch up towards the ceiling. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan dive forward, hinging at your hips. Hang heavy. Pedal your feet and your knees. Loosen up your hips. Let your head hang heavy. Pedal your feet and your knees. Press your hips up towards the ceiling. So give them a nice deep stretch here. So as you're pedaling your feet and your knees, you're still pressing your hips up towards the ceiling. Making space, grab opposite elbows and just sway back and forth here. You can stand on your hands in a gorilla pose, giving yourself a nice deep stretch here. Hang heavy, rooting down through those toes, pressing those toes into your wrists, giving yourself a nice deep wrist stretch, elbow stretch, shoulder stretch, hamstring stretch, lower back stretch, hip stretch. Your hip flexors are getting a great stretch here. Deeper on every exhale. Come up off of your hands. Press those palms into the mat, nice and heavy. Root down through those palms. So now you're shifting your weight from your heels to your palms. Nice and heavy. Inhale, back up. Inhale, arms up. And I just realized that I don't have my microphone on, so I'm going to have to yell a little bit louder. Nice and heavy here. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, arms up. Stretch and exhale all the way to the right. Hang heavy here. Inhale back to center. Stretch and exhale all the way left. Inhale back to center. Exhale all the way to the back of the room, keeping your ribs knit together. Reaching those fingertips up and back. So this isn't dumping into your back. You're not trying to do a back bend here. You're reaching up and back. So think of yourself more as a fountain. Inhale back to center. Exhale, cactus arms, palms forward, elbows back. And again, tonight's cactus arms are not necessarily, this is a typical cactus arms, which is really wonderful for opening up your heart. We're going to go a little bit deeper tonight. So you'll see, I'm going to turn sideways, so you'll see my fingertips and my shoulders, my elbows are further back. So we're going to reach back as far as we can with those elbows and with those fingertips and with those palms facing forward. So I hope you guys are going to use this list of services that these ladies have provided as a wonderful directory for options to share with your friends and family who are looking for these services. I know for sure that when all of us are trying to focus on our health and so limited in access to resources, that all of these things could be a really huge blessing. Exhale, arms down. Other than yoga, most of my products focus on giving us better options financially. So solar, which is a cleaner, more renewable option, and then real estate, which just helps folks get settled into a permanent place to live or make some wise investments, and transitioning property back and forth is wonderful. But I know that so many of these folks offer things that you can use on a daily basis that would give you a really great and wonderful boost to your health. Just pressing those shoulders down away from your ears. Inhale, arms up again. Exhale, swan dive forward again, hinging at your hips. Pressing those palms into the mat. Inhale, back to center. And relax. And I'm going to step to the back of the mat. Roll my shoulders back and forth. If your mat is long ways, you can face it forward here. You're going to root down into all four corners of our feet. Remember, we're focusing on our feet this month. I wasn't aware of this when I started this process, but apparently April is Foot Health Awareness Month. So we're really going to be taking care of our feet during Foot Health Awareness Month. So you're going to be focusing your toes towards the front of the room. So a lot of us have different dysfunctions where we either splay our feet out or in to protect something. Usually we do that to protect our hips or our back or knees or something. We usually have some type of dysfunction. We're going to be focused on lining those toes up towards the front of the room. So we're straight line through our hips, through our knees, through our ankles, right to the tips of our toes. If you have bunions that cause your toes to curve, use the outside of your foot as a gauge. So the outside of your foot should be forming as straight a line as possible. We're going to inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Step your left foot forward into a lunge. Squeezing those thighs together, train track feet. And in keeping with our toe stretches, we're going to flex forward with just our toes. So we're going to lunge forward with just our toes, back and forth. Here, back, maintaining your balance. Inhale, arms up. Ribs knit together, belly button tucked up in your heart space, shoulders back along your spine. You're not scrunching them tight towards your ears, they're lower down along your spine, so your shoulder blades. In the meantime, you're still stretching those toes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Now you're going to open up that back foot, lower down, warrior two. Gaze towards those front fingertips, squeezing those thighs together still. Ribs knit together, belly button tucked up in your heart space. Open those palms up towards the ceiling. Rooting down nice and solid here. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Deeper if you can. Inhale back to center. Open those palms back up. Exhale all the way forward, hinging at your hips. Fingertips up towards the ceiling. Shoulders nice and wide here. Gaze up towards those fingertips. Reverse and open up to the other side. Exhale back down. Inhale back up the other side. Find your center again. Straighten up that front knee and tip down into a triangle. You didn't move very far, but it shifted that stretch. If a block is part of your practice, you can use a block here. That would just open you up a little bit further this way. Inhale back to center. Open up both feet to the side of your mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan dive forward, hinging at your hips. Pressing those palms into the mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale back down. Inhale halfway. Exhale back down. Inhale halfway. Exhale back down. Hang heavy. Inhale slowly all the way back up. Step your feet back together and step to the back of the mat. Find your center, find your roots in mountain pose. Shoulders up, back and down, toes facing forward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Step your right foot forward into a lunge. Squeezing those thighs together, train track feet. Hinging on your toes, press forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. I find that this one is tighter going back. I'm finding that I'm not quite as centered here. This one is much harder to go forward and back on. Not as much flexibility in that arch. Keeping your balance, inhale, arms up. Core engaged, heart lifted. There we go, nice and deep. There we are. Found it. My heel finally touched the floor and back. Good. We're getting there. Exhale, lower down, warrior two. Open up that back foot. Open those palms up towards the ceiling. Big inhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale back to center. Exhale, tipping, hinging at your hips. Fingertips up towards the ceiling. Gaze up towards your fingertips. Exhale back down. Inhale the other side. Gaze up towards your right fingertips. Inhale back to center. Inhale, open. Straighten out that front leg. Tip down. Triangle pose. Inhale back to center. Open up both feet to the side of your mat. I'm going to turn around since I'm not wearing my microphone. I'm going to turn around to face you. Open up both feet to the side of your mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan dive forward, hinging at your hips. Stand on those hands. We're going to do a gorilla pose with wide legs. So wide leg gorilla pose. Really open up those hamstrings. Really open up those shoulders. Come up off of your hands. Pull yourself nice and deep. Walk your hands out in front of you. Press your palms into the mat. Shift your weight forward. Walk your hands forward. Walk your legs back, downward dog. Shoulder blades down along your spine, rooting down through your palms, pressing your body away from the floor, pressing your hips up towards the ceiling. Exhale back into tabletop. Find your center. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And come back. And you can come into child's pose. I am going to grab I was going to grab my block, but go ahead and come into child's pose, full extended child's pose here. Open your palms up towards the ceiling. Exhale a little bit deeper in a receiving position. draw those arms back beside you, opening your palms up. Inhale back to center into a kneeling pose. So just breathe here. Roll your neck from side to side. Lower your left ear to your left shoulder and roll, exhaling all the way forward. Inhale up to your right side. Exhale forward. Inhale lift. Exhale forward. Inhale right. And now we're going to lower our right ear to our right shoulder. We're going to extend our left palm out. I'm going to come forward a little bit. I know that without a microphone it's a little bit harder. So you're going to extend your left palm out, facing forward, and you're going to lower your right ear to your right shoulder. And just play with the position of your arm here. If you find you're getting a nice deep stretch down here, do it down here. If you find you need it more up here, do it up here. Just find the place where you need that stretch the most. And then give yourself a nice gentle tug with your right hand. Inhale back to center. Lower your left ear to your left shoulder. Extend that right palm out. Nice deep stretch here. Again, play with that length, play with that height, and find somewhere along here where your deepest stretch is going to be. Palms forward, just find where that is. Keep your thumb extended further out, making sure that you're getting your deepest stretch. Lower your left ear to your left shoulder, giving it a nice gentle tug with your left hand. Inhale back to center. Both arms out to the side. Now you're going to keep your fingers flexed. You're going to reach back, interlock your fingers back behind, and pull your shoulders away from your ears. So you're extending your knuckles down past your tailbone, pressing, pressing, pressing towards the floor. I think doing yoga every night has opened up my shoulders a little bit because now I'm actually touching the floor. I actually have to come up off of the floor in order to get a full deep stretch here. I don't know that I've ever gotten that deep in this pose before. Maybe I've never tried it. But yes, being able to do this class with you guys every single night has been such a huge blessing. It has been really a wonderful thing for me, making sure that I'm disciplined enough to move my body every single night during this quarantine time, and also just a really wonderful time of fellowship. I found that it has given me really wonderful opportunities to fellowship with people I wouldn't have known otherwise. So it's been a real great gift. Tuck your toes and sit back down on your heels. So I'm going to turn sideways so you can see this. Keeping those fingers extended towards the floor. Release back out, keeping your fingers flexed. Again, we always keep our fingers and our toes flexed, getting into and out of every pose. Just open up those shoulders nice and wide. nice big circles here. So again, you guys are welcome to join us. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Pressing those palms to center. Just enjoy that foot stretch. You guys are welcome to join us for our retreat Saturday morning. It's a free retreat with myself and with Dr. Blessing. We're going to be going over nutrition that will help us to realign ourselves and realign our digestive system. And then we're also going to have times of prayer and fellowship together. I'm going to be doing a breath workshop, and then I'm going to be doing a yoga class that focuses on touch. And that's the one thing that we're really missing in these classes. And so we're going to be focusing on touch during a time of isolation, which is really critical. That's something that I have really struggled with because I'm single. So hugs and, little kid kisses and all of those types of things that they're not a part of my life. And so we're going to focus on how critical touch is to releasing important hormones and chemicals in our body. Come up off of your heels, untuck your toes, and rest back on those heels. And now you're going to press your palms into the mat beside you and stretch back, lifting your knees. So now you're stretching the tops of your feet. Nice deep stretch to the tops of your feet. Nice counter pose to what we were just doing. Exhale, lower your knees to the floor, keeping those fingertips forward. Now you're going to root down through those fingertips and through your shins, and you're going to press your hips up towards the ceiling. Exhale back down. Inhale back to center. Give yourself a nice deep stretch here. Now we're going to open our knees wide and we're going to exhale into a child's pose. So exhale into your child's pose and then open up your knees wide. Fingertips forward. You know what? Open up your arms wide too. Draw those shoulders back together. Inhale back to center and come into simple seat. Extend those legs out in front of you. Pedal your feet and your knees. Pedal those toes. Again, we're going to give ourselves some nice stretches here. So we're going to practice lowering our toes one at a time as if we're pressing them on the floor, and then raising them back up one at a time, opening them up wide. So see if you can open your toes up wide. Now you're going to open your legs up wide, keeping those toes nice and open as well. You're going to find your sits bones. Inhale, arms up. Exhale all the way forward. Grab a hold of your toes, your big toe, and use it to pull your head forward. So you're not pulling your head to the ground, you're actually pulling it to the opposite side of the room. Reach around to the outside of your foot Exhale forward. If you can only hold your shins and your knees here, that's just fine. It'll take you a while. Again, I have been doing these classes every single night, so I'm way more open than I would be if I wasn't. So one thing to keep in mind is if you're hyper flexible, make sure you keep everything flexed because you're going to be more inclined to injury here. Inhale back to center. Draw those heels together. Pedal your feet and your knees. Inhale, arms up, finding your length. Exhale, hinging at your hips. All the way forward. Again, pulling those toes tight towards your face. Pulling your head towards your toes. You're not trying to pull your head towards your shins or your knees. You're pulling them to the opposite side of the room. Inhale slowly back to center. Press those palms into the mat behind you. Fingertips forward. Fingertips spread wide. Pressing through those heels, rooting down through your feet. You're going to inhale up into a reverse plank, pointing your toes, opening your heart. Lifting those hips high. Exhale back down. Pedal your feet and your knees and go ahead and come into a reclined position with your knees up. Slowly come into that position. Rocking your knees back and forth, loosening up that lower back. Opening your palms out to the side. Neutral spine here. So you can tuck your tailbone here and just neutralize your spine. You're going to find that takes a lot of the tension off of the arch of your back. Exhale those knees tight to your chest. Roll back and forth again here. Inhale all the way back out. Arms out, legs out, palms open, heart open. Just breathe as you release the tension from your toes, from the tops of your feet, from your ankles, your shins and your knees, your thighs, your groin and your glutes, your hips and your lower belly, your back and your core. Your chest and your shoulders, your fingertips, your forearms and your elbows, your biceps. All that tension meets up in your neck, and you release it even higher. All the way up into your jaw. And you release it as your mouth falls open into a natural smile. Up into your cheeks and past your eyes. and right out the crown of your head. And just breathe here, letting the tension fall away from your forehead. And I'm going to read our passage one more time. And I'm just going to read our last passages from 1 John as we focus on loving one another. And as you're resting there, I want you to realize that Christ is God's beloved. When he was baptized, a voice came from heaven and descended on him and said, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." And yet we have acceptance in the beloved because of his death. And so as you breathe there, I want you to rest in light of that truth. So if you have a cloth handy, you can lay it over your eyes. That's one of the drawbacks of having a class that's online instead of together. I can't give you a head massage. I can't lay a towel over your eyes or give you oils, but just to the best of your ability, allow that tension to release from your forehead, from the crown of your head. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is from God, and whoever loves has been born of God and knows God. Beloved, if God so loved us, we also ought to love one another. I'm going to pray for us. Dear Lord God, I thank you so much for each and every one of these that came together tonight to share their gifts and their abilities and their businesses and their hearts for one another, Lord, that they came together to share their stewardship with others who are doing the same. And I pray, God, that you would just bless what these folks have posted, that you would bless what they have done, and that you would just continue to multiply it for your honor and glory. And as we share these moments together, God, I just pray that this would stand as a testimony, Lord, of your love for us and how freely and generously and excitedly we can build one another up for your honor and glory. And I pray, God, that as we go our separate ways tonight, Lord, that we would not separate in our hearts, Lord, but that we would continue building one another up and sharing together. And Lord, that in our unity we would testify of who you are and of your love for us. And I ask all these things in your name. Amen. All right, so thank you guys again so much for joining me. Again, I have a virtual retreat coming up on Saturday with Dr. Blessing. There's a link for that on my pages. If you guys want to support me, please like Beloved One Studios and share that with your friends who you think could benefit from these classes. If you know of somebody who is taking classes here in Greenville, or would like to take a class here in Greenville once the quarantine time is over, please let them know. I'll go back to teaching at His Therapy, and hopefully Sabina posted her link to His Therapy tonight. If not, she's going to go back and do that, and then share this with her group. Also, if you again, if you have anybody who you know would like to be a part of a Christian Business Women's Association, I haven't done that for several years, but it looks to me like we've got enough folks to at least have a Facebook group where we could go in and share our ideas and our gifts and ask each other questions and build each other up. It gets pretty lonely on a good day, and then trying to run a business during quarantine is even worse. And yet the Lord is using people all over the world to build His kingdom, and He's allowing us to be a part of that. And so I really hope that you guys make the most of this opportunity. And oh, Jackie was able to come to class. Yes, Jackie didn't know I had classes. So wonderful. Praise the Lord. Good. I'm glad you got the benefit from it. So yes, so if you guys are interested in doing classes together, we've got Beloved One Studio classes hopefully starting up sometime in the month or so. And if you guys know of anybody who could use these, please feel free to share them. And please go through this directory of businesses that are listed here and share them with your friends. A lot of times there's products that we don't necessarily need or want or feel like we need at the time, but then months down the road we might come across somebody who's looking for those products, and we have folks here who are supplying them. And again, I hope that Danette, I think Danette posted her business. She was doing bookkeeping, and at the time I didn't necessarily need it, and then immediately afterwards I started hearing of people who needed bookkeeping help. And so I'm hoping that she'll be able to use this opportunity to connect there too. So you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you again for joining me. Join me this Saturday for our retreat. I will post the link here. If Dr. Blessing hasn't already, I will go ahead and post the link here to the Eventbrite invitation. It closes at 11:30 tonight, Central Standard Time. And so you'll want to get on that quick in order to get signed up. Again, it's free, but we would really love to have you Saturday morning. Have a wonderful night, and I love you all.